Let's talk about how busy it is on the campaign trail for many of the 2024 Republican candidates, because there are so many of them, and it was 4th of July. We know a lot of them were out and about with people greeting and introducing themselves or reintroducing themselves. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis seen here with his wife, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott also marching in Independence Day parades in New Hampshire. Both candidates looking to shore up support there in the crucial primary state. I heard Scott had special patriotic socks that he was showing off all day on Twitter. Nothing more patriotic than socks. Former Vice President Mike Pence walking in a July 4th parade in Iowa to kick off a 3-day swing through that state. The first GOP primary debate is scheduled next month. We don't know who's going to take the stage because there are so many prerequisites. But you know what we do know? The Hill's Niall Stanage, he's on it. He's got a new column. The 5 things we know about the 2024 campaign. Oh, Niall, tell us more. The first is about how much the indictments of former President Trump are affecting his support with the GOP base. And I feel like this is a no-brainer, but I'd love to hear you expound on that.
Well, I'll be happy to expound on what you already know, it sounds like, which is that those indictments have had no effect whatsoever in the GOP base or in the GOP primary race. They're added to a long list of controversies that were expected by some to harm Mr. Trump and have not done so. As a matter of fact, his support has ticked up a little bit since the first of those indictments was announced, and now he's about 30 points clear of the field. People know what they think about Donald Trump, love him or loathe him, and there's very little that is capable of changing that, it seems.
I think there are people who are so befuddled by that, thinking, how can a federal indictment not rock his party? Nothing else has.
Absolutely.
It's like Teflon.
Right. No, exactly. I mean, Teflon's the perfect example. It's just nothing really sticks. And it does show just what an unprecedented figure he is in American politics, because I can't imagine this pattern holding for anyone else on either party.
Yeah, I just don't think he really cares what anybody thinks. Okay, but a lot of people have something to say about President Biden's age, and Democrats, they cannot shake the questions about not only the chronological age. I think that's another topic, because you're only as old as you feel, or as old as you test on one of those mental senility tests that Nikki Haley is so fond of.
Absolutely, yes. But I mean, I think that is the core point, right? It is not just about the number in terms of his age. It's about certain elements of behavior. Like just last week, for example, he said a couple of times war in Iraq when he clearly meant war in Ukraine. There was that instance where he fell at the Air Force graduation ceremony last month. Now, anyone can fall. We all mangle words occasionally. But if you're 80 years old, you're the President of the United States, you'd be 82 if you were inaugurated and 86 at the end of a second term. People have concerns about that because they look at that behavior. They see maybe similar behavior in older relatives of theirs, and they think, how would that work if my relative were President of the United States or dealing with those kind of responsibilities? People have genuine worries about that, and it's not just limited to Republicans or to ideological critics of the president.
Right. This is not just people talking junk. This is actual concern because it looks familiar for a lot of us. Third on your list, Governor DeSantis's campaign. Okay, prior to making the official announcement, which he, captivated the media by delaying it time and time again, he was coming in hot. His campaign was trending everywhere. Now it's about as exciting as mayonnaise. Why has he been struggling?
It is about. Sorry, he's flatlining really at the moment.
Don't laugh out loud like that. I didn't think it was that funny, but apparently it was.
That was just a metaphor that I wasn't expecting. But anyway, he is, I mean, you had made the point prior to your mayonnaise metaphor about the fact that there was these months of expectation when we thought, oh, he's going to get into the race soon, and then he didn't, and he didn't, and he didn't. His poll ratings have actually come down from where they were in March, a couple of months before he entered the race. There was that glitchy launch, the Twitter Spaces thing. There was controversy about some comments about Ukraine. There are attacks on him by allies of former President Trump. And there are also issues about his performance on the campaign trail. He doesn't frankly seem the easiest person in terms of social interaction. That thing, retail politics, is not really his strength, and that seems to be showing against him.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.